It sucks that I have debt, but I have to take action ASAP or I will get into even more debt. My goal is to be debt free or at least only have 20% of my debt before this year ends. Right now, I have 40% of my debt and I have 4 months left to achieve my goal. Is this possible? Hello, my name is Kat. Welcome or welcome back to my channel. I am happy you're hanging out with me. In this channel, I love oversharing about my life here in Canada, the ups and the downs, my personal finance, and ways how I strive to be the best version of myself. Today, I'm going to share with you 5 actionable steps that I did to get me from 12,000K in credit card debt to 4K thousand with almost 26% interest plus insurance in only 1 year that you can copy in your debt-free journey as well. If you're like me who is in your debt-free journey but doesn't want to degrade your lifestyle, this is the perfect for you. Or if you know someone who is in the same boat as me, please share this video. This might help them. One of the things that constantly weighs on me is this quiet fear that I won't have enough for tomorrow. It's like this background noise in my mind, like what if I can't pay off my debt tomorrow? What if I'm not capable of getting out of this debt? Sometimes that fear feels true, and maybe it was true. But I think it's just my anxiety, talking to me. What started to really shift things for me was something really simple. I began tracking my income and expenses, and honestly, it was painful at first to seeing how little I actually spend on myself, on things like eating out or shopping, while still feeling like I am financially drowning. It was really tough. Like, what the freak am I doing wrong? Especially when I look at my rent, how expensive it is, but also it's not something that I'm going to give up. Like this, I love this. So I really sat down, I opened my bank account, my credit card statement. I calculated the gaps, discrepancies. It wasn't comfortable, but it gave me data and clarity, right? And with that clarity, I could finally start planning my next steps. At first, I was using Google Calendar to track my bills after each paycheck, and it got messy. I had to do the math every time, and I don't like that, so it wasn't working. So I made a Google sheet, a budget tracking sheet. And if you're curious, I share my monthly review so you can see my videos about that. And I'm actually working on revamping and creating a new version, and I will share that to everyone by October. I am also going to launch a daily expenses tracking challenge, which will also start in October when I launch my revamp budget tracker. I hope you join that challenge. Again, it was really mind-boggling to get that data and to get the IRL information, especially if you have a purchasing or a shopping problems. That was really helpful to see. When I decided to take control of my debt, I committed to paying $500 initially. Then it turned to $800 per month, okay? That number didn't just came out of nowhere. It came from a lot of digging, uncomfortable digging actually. I logged into my credit card account and looked at the breakdown. How much is the interest charges every month? There's provincial fees every month. And I also have a balance protector every month. It was about $400 just in fees and charges when I started. That number, it's hard to see. And I realized I was barely making dent in the actual debt when I was still paying $500. Literally, I was just paying the fees. So I sat down, reviewed my spending. I asked myself, what do I really need to survive? What actually brings me joy? And what actually just a peer pressure spending? So I started cutting out the things that didn't make the list. I tell my friends that I'm budgeting. I tell my friends that I had debt and I need to pay that off. It wasn't easy. Some of things were part of my routine, part of my comfort, and it's actually embarrassing to say that I have that. But I had to be honest with myself and I had to tell the people around me so that they could also help me. I also knew the cutting expenses, it could only take me far. What I did is get an extra income. So what I did is I picked up some extra work. I added clients in my finance brokerage business. I had a few wedding design gigs, and that extra cash, that extra cash made a real difference. And because, no matter how much you cut off from your spending is always limited by your income. So what I also did, I called my bank and asked if they could reduce the balance protector or the balance insurance coverage on my credit card because it was quite expensive. They did, so they cut the expenses in half. Yes, the coverage became lower, but that wasn't my focus at that moment because I also have life insurance anyway. That's just an added, just in case something happened to me. And that one phone call really saved me more than I expected, honestly. So I chose $800 because it was realistic for me, but also intentional. It was double the amount I was losing to interest and fees, meaning I'm still paying about $400 to the principal, and I have extra income. Some months when I had more, I pay like $1,200 or even more. And now my interest and fees are down to about $200 every month. And that's the progress I can really feel. It's so good. The goal is not to be perfect and uber fast. It's being honest with yourself and doing what you can and a bit more with what you have. That's how I started. And if you're feeling stuck, maybe that's how you can start too. The next actionable step is really important, okay? The biggest mindset shift, it is important to set aside an oh shit fund. Or this is what we always call, or what we all know as emergency fund. Especially when you are in debt, you have to have an extra emergency fund. If people will say that this is such a bad advice, let me correct you. Let me correct them. Because based from my experience, not a good idea of not having an emergency fund. Because early 2023, my debt is growing slow. I believe I had about 4,000 to 5,000 in my credit card account. Unfortunately, late of 2023, I injured myself. I couldn't walk. I didn't have emergency fund at all. So what happened is I have to use my non-existent money in my credit card to pay for some of my medical bills and the important bills that I can't miss, like utility and my phone. That went on for about 4 months. My debt went up about 12K and more in the start of 2024. It was growing because of the interest as well. And that really sucks. I couldn't pay my credit card. Plus, I'm also using it to survive. Like, what the hell? Or if I had a 3 months worth of ocean fund, I could have saved myself from 5 to 6K debt. Like literally. As soon as I was able to work 2 jobs, I started saving 1 month worth of ocean fund again. That was last year. And early this year, my partner unfortunately got laid off a little bit early during the winter time. So we were able to use that ocean fund to cover some of our bills instead of using his credit card to pay for it. So my advice to you is to save aggressively 1.5 month of ocean fund. Then once you get that, shift your priority to aggressively pay your debt. Okay? And then just slowly build the ocean fund to about 3 months worth or more, depending on what will make you feel at peace at night. First thing we always do when we want to pay our debt or when we wanted to save up is to cut off expenses. Of course, to help pay off debt or saving up for something. While that strategy is good, we can only cut off as much as we can possibly do before we have a life that is uncomfortable. Hello, I'm a diva, I'm a baby girl. What's left to do is to earn more so we can speed up the payment. What I did is I researched how money works in Canada, how can I earn more on the side, while also looking for another part-time job that I don't have to walk around much. So I studied and I got life and accident and sickness license. So I'm an independent broker. I got some few clients here and there for that. And then aside from my full-time job, I found another part-time job where I can sit down 60% of the time, earning few dollars above minimum pay. This is why I was capable of paying $800 minimum per month and sometimes even more. If you want to learn how I earn income as an independent financial broker, reach out to me in my socials. We can chat about it. I'm always open to sharing what I know, and I'm not gonna ask you to pay for me. I have a question. Actually, no, I have a statement. You immigrated in Canada, right? We immigrated in Canada. We wanted to stay here in Canada, right? And we wanted to build the life that we want here in Canada. Is that correct? Yeah? Okay. So why are you still saving your money in your checkings account? Genuine question. What I wanted to tell you is that we have to learn the financial system here in Canada. What are accounts that are available to us that we can leverage its perks? How does credit card interest works? How can we avoid owing tax to the government legally? We don't have to know it all at once, okay? I don't know anything until I study. But the important part is we have to know some things. You can ask me, you can message in my socials, comment in the comment section below, because you have the power as a human being to use the money as your tool to be a successful immigrant in your own way. So I suggest you take a look at this video of mine about TFSA. This is one of the many accounts that can really help us build wealth. Also, have you check about the universal life insurance? This is another way to build wealth while protecting yourself and your family for any unforeseen circumstances permanently. So research about it, or maybe hit me up if you have any questions. Paying debt can sometimes be daunting, frustrating, and emotional. Oh my God, I'm so emotional about it. But we can get through this, you know? We can do this together. If you find this video, I'm sure this video is going to be impactful for you as well. So please don't forget to subscribe to this channel, like this video, and share this video to some of your friends who need this advice. If you have other topics that you want me to talk about, please let me know. Put it in the comment section below. Last question for you guys. Where are you at in your debt journey? Once again, thank you so much for hanging out with me. I am so happy that you're here. I hope you have a wonderful day. Bye.